Today we're going to use the Split Rects Ruler to make half rectangle triangles. On the ruler, there's kind of three parts to it. You have, let's see, we'll go this way. If you hold it with the diagonal on your side, you'll have your finished units, and below the finished units, it tells you what size strip to cut your strips to. So we're going to make a 3 by 6 inch finished unit. So we're going to make our strips 7 inches. I have two strips here. I have a green and a blue. If you want your diagonal to go from upper left to lower right, you're going to lay your fabrics right sides up. If you want your diagonal to go the opposite way, you'll lay your fabric wrong sides up. If you want mirror images, one to go one direction and one to go the other direction, you'll lay your fabrics right sides together or wrong sides together. It doesn't matter which one you choose as long as you keep it the same. We're going to use this solid line on the diagonal side first. So you'll lay your solid line on the left side of your fabric, and then the bottom of your ruler should match with whatever finish size unit you are making. So ours lines up with a 3 by 6 inch finish. On the solid line, you'll make your first cut, and then you'll set it to the side. After that, you are going to rotate your ruler 180 degrees, and on the bottom you have a second trim line. And what you're going to do is you're going to line the bottom of your fabric with that trim line, and then your common diagonal should match with the cut you just made, and you'll make your second cut. From there, you will keep rotating your ruler to cut your entire strip. I'll show you once more. You line the top of your ruler with the top of your fabric. It lines up with your finished size strip and your solid line. Then you rotate your ruler 180 degrees so that your second trim line lines up with the bottom of your fabric, and it's not quite at the edge of the ruler, so you'll want to pay attention. And your common diagonal should match with your cut, and you'll make your next cut, and just repeat until you get to the end of your strip. Okay, so now that you have all of your pieces cut off of your strips, you're going to match your triangles until you get rectangles that are right sides up depending on which angle you are wanting your pieces to be. And then you're going to pretend like you're sewing it. You're going to fold it over on the seam, which is the long diagonal, and then you'll share the difference of your seam so it's centered, but it doesn't have to be perfect. And then you'll sew at 1/4 inch down each seam. Now that you're done sewing, you're going to take your pieces to the ironing board. You're going to set your seam just by putting some heat on there. And then when you press them, you're going to press your seams open, and that will help them lay nice and flat. Now that you're done ironing, you're ready to trim. So you will take your pieces and you'll lay them on a diagonal. Well, your seam will be on a diagonal. And on your ruler, you're going to use the third kind of part of the ruler. You're going to line it up on your common diagonal. And then you'll want to stay, if you're making the same size, you'll want to stay outside the 6.5 because our finished size is 3 by 6, and that's inside the quilt without seam allowance. So we need the 1/2 inch for seam allowance. Once you have your diagonal lined up, you'll cut on the side and the top. And then you're going to rotate your block 180. You'll line up on the same diagonal. your common diagonal. Now your 6.5 and your 3.5 are going to match up with your block. And then you'll trim the side and the top. And now you have a perfectly trimmed half rectangle triangle, and you'll trim all of your pieces. If you have any questions about this block or want to learn more about quilting, visit Nebraska Quilt Company.